Ring any bells?
Never had this TV before. This one is perfect.
Do you know who Mark Wahlberg is?
No problems.
That's a total gift.
Right, okay.
So light as well.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna
King
say
remote.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, you got to give me something. Dan, has it come to you while Naomi's looking?
No, it hasn't. My mind's still blank, but I
yeah.
don't. It's definitely not Snoop Dogg.
Okay, let's see. Naomi, if you're wrong, Dan, you are today's winner. You're going to be playing for our jackpot. Let's find out. Mark Wahlberg, when he was rapping, was his rapper name Snoop Dogg? No, it was Marky Mark. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Marky Mark was the name of his group, and he was rapping their
It's
name,
much better than
sadly.
that JPC one I had.
Okay, I can have so much fun.
You've been fabulous.
And we got HD channels.
1960.
Is it?
Let's have a go. Oh, we've been expecting.
No marks whatsoever. One of the best
As
Samsung
public show
tellies.
imminent, Jane's another step closer to having a...
Goes to the right up there around that route, and I'm just kind of skipping across the top of them and staying away.
Oh, I've gone off. One of those.
This investigation?
Well, as your reporter pointed out, there have been several people who've been named arguido in this case before, including the McCanns themselves, one of the neighbors in Praia de Luz, and a couple of men who had been involved in petty crimes around the Ocean Club estate. Now, the status itself conveys a certain level of protection to the person under suspicion, but it is a shot across the bows that the Portuguese have no intention of letting this case drop, that they are interested in Christian B, the suspect in Germany, and with the statute of limitations
sound as well.
on the crime, on any potential
Normally
crime,
the speakers
being set
are
to run
bad
out
on these
around the
new
time
ones.
of Madeleine's birthday and her disappearance, May 3rd, then it's a real indication that that is not going to happen, that they are not going to drop the case.
It's going to be, I'm imagining, for her parents, Kate and Joe McCann, a very difficult moment, but also a welcome one, would you say?
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Christian B is a convicted pedophile. He is also convicted of serving time for a violent sexual crime against an elderly woman. It can't give any parent any relief to think of their child in the hands of such a person. At the same time, I think that for the McCanns, who have waited so long for any resolution to this case, that even the most tragic outcome would in fact be something of relief, something better than the perpetual nightmare they have been living.
But the idea that we're going to get a lot of information from the Portuguese authorities, from the Portuguese police, I mean, how disappointed is the media going to be?
Well, media who've covered this case for the last years know that the Portuguese were very badly burned in the first investigation. The Portuguese police were heavily criticized for handling of that case. It led to a lot of fallout for them. Since 2013, I believe, was the year that they actually reactivated their own case. The Portuguese have worked very diligently, very quietly behind the scenes, and just getting on with it. And as far as we know, they've had a reasonable level of cooperation with their German and British counterparts. There are always tensions, always differences of approach and technique, but they've all tried to just get on with it at this time.
Author Robin Swan. A senior Russian military general has reportedly said that Moscow's mission is to take full control of eastern and southern Ukraine. It's not yet clear whether the comments were officially sanctioned. Mikhail Khodorkovsky was once the boss of the Russian oil firm Yukos and Russia's richest man. He's now in exile and a prominent critic of President Putin. He says a Western embargo of Moscow's oil would put deal Putin a very serious blow, which could halve the Kremlin's revenue and have an impact on Mr. Putin's ability to continue his war in Ukraine. He's been speaking to Stephen Sacker on the BBC's Hard Talk programme.
Я думаю, что если Путину придется переориентировать поставки нефти и газа с Европы
Well, the better
на
Samsungs.
азиатские рынки, то он потеряет больше, чем половину своих доходов. Это половина доходов федерального бюджета. Сможет ли он в этом случае продолжать вести войну? И сколько времени он сможет в этом случае продолжать вести войну? Мне сложно сказать, я все-таки не военный эксперт. Но думаю, что это будет очень серьезным ударом.
In the meantime, what we see as Europe discusses oil and gas, but frankly does very little about it, what we see is some limited sanctions on the banking sector. They've stopped importing coal, or at least they're promising to, and they've taken measures to freeze the huge reserves of Russian money in overseas banks, and they've targeted oligarchs. Now, you speak to me as a former Russian oligarch. Do you think the seizing of yachts, the telling Roman Abramovich he can no longer own Chelsea Football Club, do all of these big headline measures, do they make any difference?
Важно понимать,